It's a caffeine special inside Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena as in-state rivals stage a late night battle on the rink. The play-in round of the ACCHL M2 Elite Division Tournament concludes with the matchup between the 10-seed Appalachian State Mountaineers and the 7-seed East Carolina Pirates. Welcome back to Winston-Salem alongside Adam Persico. My name is Paul Roper. Thank you for joining us. First game was a dandy. 1-0 win for the Charlotte 49ers. Dylan Sessa wins it 7 minutes and change into the first overtime. And now it sets the stage for App State and ECU. They met twice in October. They split a pair of high-scoring games, and it got physical. We expect to be more physical tonight in a win-or-go-home situation. The winner will face 2-seed Virginia in tomorrow's quarterfinal.
Yeah, and Paul, you just touched on it absolutely perfectly. You just touched on it absolutely perfectly. These are two physical teams. These are two teams that are out here to prove a point. They want to be here. They feel like they deserve to be here in these ACCHL playoffs. So I expect two teams to be flying and crashing into the boards to start off.
It should be a fun one. App State, the last team in the field over George Washington, thanks to 5 regulation wins. 2 points of difference for the Mountaineers during their trip down the mountain from Boone. They know they could beat the Pirates from Greenville. They probably should have done it twice this season at Fayetteville, as they were up 4-1 in the first game, gave up 5 unanswered to lose 6-4 to ECU. And then the following night, Lucas Tremont with a hat trick to give ASU a 7-4 victory over the Pirates. Tremont and Chase Arnett will be relied upon to lead App State tonight.
Yeah, and you hit it perfectly once again. Tremont, Arnett, Beck, that top line, that is absolutely the go-to guys for the Mountaineers. When they go, the Mountaineers go. I don't want to say the team relies on them. They do have depth. They do have the ability to grind it out through 4 lines. But the reality is that point production comes from that top line, and expect to see them tonight.
And for the Pirates, they're powered by the Sylvester brothers from Carver, Massachusetts. Only 2 players on the roster to reach double digits in goals this season. They bring size to the purple and gold. Jackson, 6'2", his younger brother Ben, 6'5", 215. That could be tough for the Mountaineers to contend with.
Yeah, and this is the first time all semester the Mountaineers have actually played a team that matches up physically, similarly in size to them, as they've played a small Elon team, a small Duke team, a Charlotte team that did match them physically, but ultimately, this team is, again, best when they're physical, this Mountaineers team, and ECU as well. So expect both teams trying to set the tone early.
Right now you see the starting lineups being introduced for App State and East Carolina. Welcome back to Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena. Paul Roper, Adam Persico with you. Get ready for App State and East Carolina. Should be a good matchup between these two. In between the pipes for Appalachian State, it's a homecoming for Lucas Weyer. He hails from Winston-Salem. An opportunity to try and get the win for the Mountaineers tonight so they could survive in advance to play Virginia tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Weyer had a tough go of it last week against Charlotte with the chance to be able to get a better seed coming into these play-in games or into these playoff games. He was replaced by Tyler Matson, but Weyer, he's resilient, looking to bounce back tonight, seeing how he responds.
And in the opposite cage will be Jackson Shulmistra, who has had the lion's share of the work for East Carolina this year. The son of Cup of Coffee NHLer Richard Shulmistra played 2 games in the NHL as a goaltender for the Devils and the Panthers. He currently serves as an assistant coach for this ECU team as we're underway here from the Fairgrounds Arena. App State in whites, ECU in blacks. A quick shot on goal, and Shulmistra up to the early challenge, 14 seconds in.
Yeah, just a quick chance there for the top line of Arnett, Tremont, and Beck. Again, that top line, once they get going, the rest of this Mountaineer team gets going, trying to set the tone.
Arnett on the draw. And again, the puck goes out of play. 18 seconds in. So, whenever this game will take on the Virginia Cavaliers tomorrow. The play-in round of the 2026 ACCL Men's Division II Elite Championship. This time the Pirates control the draw. Farrow trying to clear it out off the glass. Leslie looking to keep it in. He cannot. Instead, it goes back to Arnett. Arnett into center. Trying to enter the zone. Laid offside. We'll try and regroup. It's Beck spinning around. He'll whack it in. And it's taken away by Thomas Dixon. And here come the Pirates the other way, but a good job to intercept at the red line by Aiken Carter. Now in his second stint as a member of the Mountaineers.
Carter moving up to the second line tonight, getting some increased minutes with the shorter bench for the Mountaineers.
Dealing with some injury issues entering tonight's game. We'll talk about that as this one rolls on. Right now, the Pirates looking to regroup from their own end as gating the red was Jackson Sylvester, one of the Sylvester brothers who have led the way for these Pirates this year. Again, App State doing a good job of preventing any entry into their zone. They'll try again with Thomas Farrow. Instead, the puck is taken away by Aiden Hoey. That's third Johnson. Now Jackson Sylvester. A collision allows Mountaineers to take the puck away as Meany deals it forward. They go to the ECU zone. The shot by Bondgren is blocked. Continuing the battle in the ECU zone. And finally, the Pirates break out. There's a shot that's into the glove of Weyer as he gets his first shot on goal, which is stopped 1 minute and 48 seconds in.
Yeah, and that's the first shot of the game there for the Pirates, but they're not really able to get any meaningful possession in the offensive zone here through the first minute and 50 seconds or so. Want to see how their offense sets up.
We're kind of feeling each other out. We saw this in the first game against JMU and Charlotte. Really didn't get going until about 5 minutes in. Lots of play at center ice for the first 2 minutes. Potential opportunity here, but snatched by the glove of Shulmistra off the attempt from Bondgren to the face-off to come of the ECU zone.
Yeah, and a quick shot there from Bondgren. Something that's actually pretty uncharacteristic for this Mountaineers team, where they love to carry the puck deep, love to wheel down below the goal line. Crossing the blue line and getting shots earlier and testing Shulmistra early might be a new change of strategy for them.
Well, speaking of new change of strategy, there is a newcomer on this ECU roster who's on the ice right now. You'll see him in the white helmet. That is Lenny Mikkola from Finland. He's an exchange student. Comes from Turku, part of the TPS system, which has produced many great NHLers. He has the puck right now. Mikkola stepping up to the red line as it's dumped into the App State zone. Trying to whack it out of the corner was Craig. Instead, it's taken by Walters, and here come the Mountaineers. Tremont sending it in deep. Had a hat trick against the Pirates last time these teams met in Fayetteville. It was all the way to the high slot, and instead it's taken down the other way. Noah Deegan spins around the corner, puts one in front, knocked away, rebound. Hits off the side of the cage from Dixon. And the Mountaineers able to clear.
And a good chance, a good quick counterattack there from the Pirates. That looks like to be their game plan right now, trying to get strength in numbers going the other way quickly.
Well, now too quickly on that attempt. It's an offside on ECU, right on cue. Stop play, 3 minutes and 7 seconds in. Looking for our first goal here in Winston-Salem. Between the Mountaineers and the Pirates, and considering these teams have combined for 21 goals in their 2 meetings. I expect we'll see a lot of goals tonight. Mountaineers win the faceoff as Richter tries to move it forward, and the puck instead ends up in the ECU bench for another faceoff. For App State, this is a team that is familiar with this ice surface. They now practice in this facility. Again, there is no ice rink that is even close to Boone, and boy, they have to go through a lot just to practice and make sure that they hold things together throughout the season. We'll talk about that as the game goes on. Right now, the Mountaineers on the attack behind the net. It was Carter looking to set it in front. Puck is loose. There's a good takedown against Brady as he tried to whack it towards the net. It squirts out the center. Leslie chops it forward. And then it's backhanded in by Komorowski.
Now we're starting to see a little bit of that physicality start to show itself that we expected along the boards.
There's Ben Sylvester tried to give chase behind the net. Instead, it's Mountaineers who will clear it out off the stick of Brady. And all the way into ECU ice. Back to retrieve it behind the cage is Verreau. On him is Zucchini. And here come the Pirates. Puck intercepted the red momentarily by Nelson, and now Zucchini takes control. He overskates the puck. Nelson digs it out of the backhand back into Pirate territory. Now it's Caputo, stops at a dime, deals it forward to Hansen. Jace Hansen, who scored in each of the 2 games against the Mountaineers this season, dumps it into the ASU zone. Verreau, and it's out of play into the netting. Well, we were talking about App State, what they have to even do to practice. Again, no available ice even close to Boone. This is actually the closest ice surface to them. They got to leave in prime time, early evening, to get here, practice at 11 o'clock, and they come back to Boone around 2:33 a.m. when they do practice.
Yeah, they do it for the love of the game. That's the beautiful part about club hockey. All the guys who are here, they want to be here. And I think, it's a testament to how much they all love this game and how passionate they are about the sport of hockey.
Not only that, but how much they love their school as well to represent their teams. And we expect there will be no love lost on the ice tonight between the Pirates and the Mountaineers. Right now, trying to rev things up. 4 minutes and 50 seconds into this first period. Hoey behind the net. He's hit hard as he was chopped from down below. Good opportunity here for the Pirates. The shot rockets over the net from Ollie Coughlin. And the Mountaineers able to clear. It's Beck from the red line. It's around the check of Mikkola trying to take control of the puck. And a good defensive play by the Pirates' Coughlin to take it back. Outside Deegan. And ahead, Will Steffen. Steffen from Nova Scotia with a shot that's knocked away by Ware. Now it's Tyler Meany. Meany trying to get around the defender. Could not. Meany, a late addition to this roster. He's a newcomer from Stonehill College. He's done very well for App State. Yeah,
and he's somebody I've talked to Coach Mugno about. He said, he's an immediate injection into the lineup. Absolutely, quote, gave the boys the juice they needed this semester.
We hope they'll give them some juice tonight here against ECU. Still looking for our first goal. Approaching the 6-minute mark of period number 1. Battle along the boards. It squirms out towards center. Chasing it down for ECU is Brady. Or ASU is Brady. Now it's dumped into App State territory. There's Peyton Craig. Deals it backwards to Doldy. Doldy, looking down the ice, was able to get it out of the zone past Ben Sylvester. We'll deal it back in. Doldy to retrieve it behind the net. Head to Robbie Richter. Couldn't clear it out as it was held in by Caputo. Wrapped around the boards. It's Farrow. Farrow with the centering pass. Here's Sylvester at a goal. Sylvester wide of the net. ECU tried to cycle. Puck was loose at the side of the cage. Knocked away by Leslie. Wraps it around the boards for Brady. Trying to chip it out. He can't. Second effort also can't go out. Ben Sylvester keeps it in. Now it's Brady that controls for App State. Trying to find some space, and he safely skates it out to center.
That puck was about a score for ECU. I think that was Aiken Carter that cleared that off the goal line.
It was an excellent play there by Carter. Keep this game scoreless. 7 minutes and 15 seconds in. Here's Caputo behind the goal. Caputo up the right side, looking for Farrow. Now they go cross ice. Here's Caputo, gains the red, and then fires it in off of Hoey. Hoey in the corner, around the boards for Hazelgrove. Lost the puck behind the net to Jackson Sylvester. Back at the point, Coughlin with a shot. Knocked away towards the corner. Jackson Sylvester after it again. Being challenged by Odin Nelson. And now here's Zucchini, who will chip it out to center.
Now it's the Pirates' turn to really get some pressure.
A good opportunity here. Good stick work, but ends up back to Mikkola. Shot blocked. And a good save there off the chest of Weyer and out to center. Shots are 6-2 in the early going for East Carolina. That's in front. There's a save. Potential wraparound attempt. Instead, they'll regroup in behind the cage. On the high side, a shot and a goal. Went right through traffic as ECU gets on the board. Courtesy of Noah Deegan. The defenseman blasted through traffic. It's the Pirates 1 and the Mountaineers nothing.
And the Pirates did an excellent job there at developing sustained pressure, being able to keep the puck inside their blue line. But not only that, creating traffic in front of Weyer. In front of Weyer, you saw two black jerseys there creating havoc. Too much for one defenseman. I believe that was Seth Johnson trying to clear them out. And that's going to get ECU to break this scoreless tie.
Deegan will get credit for the goal. Jackson Sylvester, the lone assist. And the time of that goal, 8:24 of the first period, and it's 1-0 ECU.
And it took the Pirates a couple minutes, but now that they've found their footing, they're really taking it in the offensive zone and showing that physical, strong forecheck we expected out of them.
We'll see if that continues through the course of this first period. Puck hops off a skate, another chance for ECU. There's a shoulder save by Weyer back to the point. Coughlin trying to chase it down. Instead, he's beaten to it by Walters. Wraps it around the boards. Held in by the Pirates. Centering pass for Coughlin. Baines off the body, and instead it's Tremont that takes over. Baines it off the glass. Beck trying to chase it down. He cannot. Icing on App State. And it goes back to the Mountaineer zone for this faceoff.
Taking a look back at that chance, the wraparound fake, which created a lot of space and havoc in front of the net. You saw the shot from the point. Two bodies right there in front of Weyer, asking a lot of your goaltender and the lone defenseman to take care of two bodies there. Let's take another look at it.
And no doubt they're going to try and crash the net all night long with that physical style that they play. And it's resulted in them getting a 1-0 lead. And again, the Pirates trying to go on the attack. It's behind the net. Peyton Craig trying to clear it out with help from Tremont. Also there is Arnett. He can't get it out. Tremont will get another chance. He'll try to skate it out the center. He's able to. Tremont across the ECU line with a shot stick to side by Shulmistra. Now it's Beck, ridden into the boards by Caputo. Pirates will try to break out, and they do on a 2-on-2. Looking ahead, it's off the skate of Bobruka. Meets up with Leslie in the corner. Bobruka trying to find somebody in front. Mountaineers try to clear. Instead, it's held at the point. Long shot by Coughlin. Sails wide of the cage. Mikkola pitches in. Will go in behind the net. And a centering pass knocked away. Good stick work there by Jason Beck, and they clear it out the center.
It's a desperation poke by Beck. Might have just saved a goal there, as the ACU is knocking on this door still, and they will not let up.
Well, ECU off to a good start, out shooting App State 9-3, leading on the scoreboard 1-0. That was an icing call on ECU. And awaiting our media timeout. You do not take one after an icing. Had a couple of icings now after the under-12. App State won the draw but couldn't make anything of it. Ben Sylvester skates across the ASU line into the corner, now weaves behind the net. Sylvester still with it, dropped it behind the net. Goldie trying to take it away, he whacks it into the corner. Chasing after it is McCabe, and here come the Mountaineers. Sending the rest of the way in the glove of Shulmistra. He'll play it Ward for Farrow. Over to Ben Kramer. Kramer hit hard. Oh my, what a check there from Robbie Richter. Mountaineers come the other way with McCabe. Drop pass doesn't work. He gets it back, goes behind the net. McCabe, sharp angle shot, stopped by Shulmistra, smothers the puck and stops play with 9:06 to go in the first period. We'll take a break, timeout on the ice. We'll be back in a moment. ECU leads at 1-0 over App State. Take a look at the East Carolina bench. They're led by their third-season head coach, Kyle Gentile. And seeing though these two teams are rivals, they certainly have helped each other out. East Carolina pitched in with supplies to support the boot area in the aftermath of Helene back in October 2024. Even though they have a rivalry, they certainly have pitched in to help each other off the ice. Back to action here. The Pirates with a 1-0 lead. Controlling the puck is Scanlon as he wraps around his own net. Scanlon tries the breakout. Good stick check. Almost prevent them from going by Richter. Now here's Richter the other way to 2-on-1. Richter in front. Backhand, no. Another chance off the side of the net. Puck is still loose as it's underneath Brady. And Richter comes up with it. App State getting a good chance. Richter trying to keep it alive. Doing a good job with that stick. He's evaded a couple of Pirates with that stick work. Now spins around, lost it at the half wall. Chipped towards the net. It's blocked in front by Sylvester, and here come the Pirates.
You just saw the horrors of holding the puck too long. Appalachian State able to finally get some sort of chance. Then Richter just held onto it for a little bit too long there, unable to pull the trigger with a decision.
Now the Mountaineers have their top line as Beck goes in behind the net, along with Caputo. And towards the corner, Caputo comes up with it. Starts the rush for the Pirates. It's taken away by Walters. Walters whacks it ahead. Tremont knocks it towards ECU territory. Arnett drops it back for Beck. Beck, it's a shot off at Shulmistra, is able to chip it wide of the goal. That was a fluttering shot that almost equalized the score for the Mountaineers. Now they're still on the attack. Tremont behind the net. Arnett looking in front for Beck. It hops over his stick and squirms out to center.
That was an excellent defensive play by Owen Caputo, breaking up the stick of Beck. He just stood his ground and absolutely broke up that play.
Here's Tremont trying to get around Caputo. He could not. Now it's Walters. Walters centering past Meany. Overskates the puck and allows the Pirates to clear in the center. Stepping up to try and take it away for the Mountaineers was Craig. He could not. Chance for ECU. Shot from the slot wide of the net. A good opportunity there for Thomas Dixon. Mountaineers try to clear, but now ECU begins the cycle. Shot. Watch out on that. Mikkola lines and fires. That's over the net. Mountaineers still can't clear. Good job set up on the line from Sean Komorowski. And the Mountaineers clear. They're going to wave off the ice, and they say it deflected off of Komorowski. That allows the Mountaineers to complete a line change. Komorowski behind the cage of ECU. One of the senior leaders on this Pirate team. Across to Mikkola. Mikkola, a red line, will fire it in. Around the boards, it's Kramer who chases it down to the corner. In front, Leslie knocks it away. It's kept it at the point. Shot by Deegan. It is kicked aside by Ware. Deegan has the game's only goal for ECU. They remain in the lead 1-0. Now here's Ben Sylvester. Shot is blocked by Doldy. Puck loose in the corner. Doldy get in front of Jackson Sylvester to take it away, and the Mountaineers clear. Here's Scanlon in his own end. And App State will continue a line change. Now Farrow trying to settle the puck down. He cannot. Player goes down for App State. Play continues. Farrow spins around towards the point. Sends it towards the goal. It's wide of the cage. Doldy recovers behind the net. And we'll wait for things to settle down before he takes it down the ice.
And up to this point, it's been absolute ECU domination. The Mountaineers should count their lucky stars that Weyer is having the night he's having up to this point in this period.
Well, Weyer's been solid so far. He's made 9 saves, and play will stop. Puck touched with a high stick. Sends the face off to center. 5:10 to go in our first period. ECU up 1-0 on the first goal of the season by Noah Deegan.
You see Jackson Shulmistra. He's only been tested for 6 shots. The Mountaineers would like to up that, but another very characteristic slow period, or slow opening period from the Mountaineers, as this feeling out process tends to take some time for them before they really settle into the flow of the game.
Right now down 1-0 as they're trying to find their legs here. Puck took a strange bounce. Got a good chance for Jackson Sylvester, but he missed the net. Now he has it at the half wall. Trying to get around 2 Mountaineers. Sylvester loses the puck. Trying to clear it out as Richter. He can't after overskating it. And the Mountaineers clear on their 3rd attempt. Shulmistra into the corner to try and play it. He's not shy about doing that. But ECU sends it down the length of the ice, and this will be no icing. They wave it off.
And I think it's important to note Shulmistra had one of the crispest passes of the night.
And on goal, backhander from Aiken Carter, turned aside by Shulmistra. Well, his dad in that one game backed up Marty Brodeur. That's how he came in, and Brodeur is one of the better stick handlers of his time as a goaltender. Maybe he had some lessons from him.
Maybe. Could be passed down hockey knowledge from generations past.
Oh, no doubt. Here's Mikkola behind the net of Shulmistra. Mikkola into center. Mikkola into the zone. A shot blocked it out of play into the netting. 3:53 remaining in our opening period. ECU 1, App State nothing.
The shots are now listed at 10-7 in favor of East Carolina. A lot of chances have gone through the front, through the middle, that have gone through begging for East Carolina to be finished. At this point, it's 1-0. Again, App State should be very lucky that it's only 1-0 with the amount of pressure the Pirates have been able to generate.
Pirates have done a good job on the forecheck and cycling the puck. Have a 1-0 lead to show for it. It was Jackson Sylvester who set up that nice play on the fake wraparound. It ended up with a point shot by Deegan to break the ice for ECU. They remain on top as we enter the late stages of this first period. Here in Winston-Salem, offside. Beck got in. Arnett was not out. Face-off coming up in the neutral zone. On the draw will be Arnett. Squares off against Kyle Rogers. Pirates win the draw. Deegan goes D to D with Scanlon as the puck is dumped in on goal. Weyer couldn't cover it up. That was dangerous. That allows ECU to hold the puck in at the point. Goes into the corner. Walters around the boards and out to center by Tremont. Ahead to Beck. Beck with a shot wide of the cage. Now Bondgren sends it softly towards the goal, and Shulmistra will jump on top of it to stop play. 2:57 remaining in our opening period. But boy, that got dangerous there for a little bit for the Mountaineers. A puck that should have easily been covered up by Weyer instead squirted out.
Yeah, it looked like the defensemen were coasting in, expecting a whistle there, a face-off in the corner, but snuck under the glove, and thankfully they were able to break it out after that. Here
comes Ben Sylvester. Moving past Oldie. Sylvester a shot. knocked away. As the goalie lost a stick, Weyer back to Ben Sylvester, lines and fires. It's blocked, and the Mountaineers able to clear it out. That allows Weyer to retrieve his stick. Mountaineers trying to start the attack. They can't, as it's cleared out by Ben Sylvester. Now Doldie ahead to McCabe, lost the puck. Ben Sylvester takes it back. Skates into the ASU zone. Sylvester, nice move around the defender, Leslie. In behind the net. Puts one in front. Leslie trying to knock it away. He can't as the puck squirms wide. Mountaineers looking to clear, and they do. This will be sent just wide of the net, and that will be an icing on App State.
Another couple really good chances for the Pirates. Weyer was slow getting over to that side off the pass from behind the net. But on the second shot off the rebound, misses the net, though that entire right side was open.
We mentioned at the top the Sylvester brothers were going to cause trouble. Jackson helped set up the first goal, but Ben is making things happen as well. He's been on the ice for the Pirates.
I can't tell if there's 2 Sylvesters or 20, how much they're all over the ice tonight.
Over towards the net, it's Jackson Sylvester. He goes into the corner along with Leslie. Now in behind the net. Kramer tried to feed it to the high slot, but it splits the D and goes down towards Schulmister, who plays it from the hash marks. Good long lead pass ahead into the zone for Hansen. Now it's Sylvester. That's Jackson. Centering pass. Weyer trying to cover it up. Puck is loose, and finally gets the whistle. Oh, that was a good opportunity there as the puck careened into his direction. He was able to cover it up after that attempt by Ben Kramer.
Yeah, Kramer was tied up in front going to the slot there. The pass actually looked like it hit him on either in the body or maybe off the stick without him really thinking about it, and it got redirected into the body of Weyer, who made a reactionary save there.
Final 90 seconds of the opening period. Pirates lead at 1-0. The puck escapes Scanlon at the point. Jackson Sylvester in front of his own bench. And Zucchini will fire it in to the ECU end. Schulmister can't stop it behind the goal. Battling in the corner. A couple of players meeting up as Nelson tries to dig it out. A win in front to Richter, but he lost the handle on it. Hoey keeps it at the point trying to find Richter. It's intercepted. And here come the Pirates. Seth Johnson dumps it in. The ECU territory, no icing. Schulmister comes out to play it in front of Richter. Puck takes a strange bounce. Mountaineers try to take advantage. Seth Johnson from the point. Glenn Glove saved by Schulmister to stop play with 41 seconds to go.
And that felt like the first real forecheck we've seen from the Mountaineers in about, I want to say, 10 minutes now up to this point of with that line, that third line with Dodgeville, or fourth line actually, him being the extra forward stepping in with Zucchini there. The Mountaineers finally able to get some semblance of pressure there.
Turnaround shot was blocked in front by the Pirates. It goes into the corner. Now Brady. Brady battles with Ben Sylvester. He's able to dig the puck out. And it's clear at the center and a hard hit.
And that's going to be called for a charge. The ref's arm is up. Hoey took about 40 steps into that one.
Yeah, he knows that he's going right to the penalty box. So East Carolina picks up the game's first power play with 20.2 seconds to go, as Aiden Hoey will pick up 2 minutes for charging.
And this has been where the Mountaineers really fall apart, where their game has started to fall apart this semester. Ultimately, it's discipline. A lot of penalties, a lot of special teams time has really started to affect the Mountaineers in this semester. They've given up quite a few penalty or power play goals and only have scored one shorthanded. So the odds are really not in their favor as of late.
However, they do get a clear from Tremont right off the bat, but he then loses his stick. Also in there is Arnett to try and keep it alive. Now Tremont with the stick goes into the zone. Tremont in on goal, draws a penalty, and that'll end the ECU power play. Just 14 seconds in. We'll have a minute 46 of 4-on-4 time straddling the first and second periods. As headed to the sin bin for East Carolina is Ben Kramer.
Now, all of you at home just saw that effort from Arnett and Tremont right there on the blue line. That was one thing I wanted to mention is this forecheck on the penalty kill, that solo forechecker, pressures uncharacteristically hard for the Mountaineers. They send that first guy in, even under the goal line, pressuring, attacking the puck as much as they humanly can, which is something you don't see a lot in penalty kill. You see a lot of contain. You see a lot of backing off and falling into structure. But Arnett and Tremont, and Beck as well, who's out there now, love to attack.
A good job because their teamwork drew that penalty as the first period expires here in Winston-Salem. ECU a 1-0 lead thanks to the goal by Noah Deegan. And we will have a minute 40 of 4-on-4 action to start our second period, followed by a very short 14-second power play for Appalachian State. East Carolina 1, Appalachian State 0. And we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena. Paul Roper, Adam Persico with you. East Carolina leads in 1-0 over Appalachian State. Winner faces 2-seed Virginia in tomorrow's quarterfinal. Only goal the first period came at the 8:24 mark. Noah Deegan with his first of the year for ECU. The assist going to Jackson Sylvester. A first period in which East Carolina outshot App State 14-9. East Carolina controlling the play for most of that period. But as you were telling me off air, this is an App State team that has had some slow starts this season. Now, granted, they actually have not happened against ECU. They were up 4-1 in each of those games. They lost the first of those games, won the second one. But a slow start here tonight, and they'll try and get it going in the second period.
Yeah, there's been a shift to the second semester where it takes a little bit more to get the momentum, get the legs under the guys. Whatever has changed from first semester to second, I mean, also you've seen more turnover on the roster, more changes. You've seen more injuries amongst the Mountaineers. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond into the second period. But again, this is a period that they have played better in than the first, but that first usually takes them a while. You saw some ramping up in maybe the last minute and a half of a Mountaineer forecheck and that 4-on-4 and maybe that penalty kill as well. But prior to that, it was really just all Pirates getting it down in their zone, breaking out with no pressure, being able to make crisp stretch passes through the neutral zone. It really felt like ECU's game to win.
That it is, and for ECU and App State, we're going to have a minute 40 of 4-on-4 time to start this period, so a little bit more open ice thanks to the two late penalties in that first period. And that should count for some exciting action through the first 100 seconds. Right now, App State hoping to find some answers after they trail 1-0 after one period of play. East Carolina controlling the play in the opening 20 minutes as two teams have yet to take to the ice. They were taking some time to manicure the ice surface here at Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena, home of the Twin City Thunderbirds of the FPHL. Team that has been very popular since Winston-Salem got back in the minor league hockey. They originally started as the Carolina Thunderbirds, rebranded this past summer to the Twin City Thunderbirds in honor of one of Winston-Salem's nicknames. Camel City is another one. I'm most surprised that teams haven't called themselves the Camels here as a result.
Yeah, I am a little bit surprised about that. I do feel like Camel City kind of feels like what you would call a minor league baseball team. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, you got the Rocket City Trash Pandas down in Birmingham, I believe. So, yeah.
Well, no, it's named after... It's not even
Huntsville, Alabama,
yeah,
right? That's what it is.
Huntsville, yep.
The Rocket program.
The baseball team is named after punctuation, which isn't even the right punctuation because it's actually a hyphen in Winston-Salem and not a dash.
Not the dashes, yep.
Yeah, these are the things we talk about when we wait for the teams to come back to the ice surface. We thought they'd be able to, but now the officials have whistled them to be able to come back on and be ready to resume some action here in a matter of moments for the start of our second period. You see the ECU Pirates wearing all blacks today. And Mountaineers with the white tops and the black pants, white socks, trimmed in black and gold. Two schools where you make sure you get the name right. A lot of people mispronounce Appalachian. A lot of people call East Carolina, add 3 extra letters to the first part of that. We're here to set it straight. It is Appalachian State and East Carolina.
I got to say, as a student at Appalachian State, it makes my heart very happy that I came up to this booth and you were already pronouncing it right. I feel like half of our job as Appalachian State students is correcting people who say words like Appalachian. Ugh, makes me shudder just to say it.
They still do it on the mothership at ESPN.
They do. Thankfully, we have Marty Smith in our corner. Shout out to Marty.
That's
right.
He
corrects everyone, tells them to say Appalachian. Thanks, Marty. You're the only one keeping us right.
And I think he's done the same thing with ECU.
Yes, he has.
In terms of east/other direction Carolina. We're underway here for the second period. This is Johnson for App State. Lost the puck momentarily to Hansen as it ends up behind the net. Tries to get it to Arnett. It's wrapped around the boards. And taking it out to center is Tremont. Tremont across the red into ECU territory, trying to get around Scanlon. She'll miss her out to play the puck. Over at the half wall, Arnett tries to dig it out. He can't. Tremont looking to help. Scanlon takes over. Plays it off the end boards to Deegan, the game's only goal scorer, as he tries to chip it forward. And now it is Jackson Sylvester, who moves in behind his own net, being trailed by Seth Johnson. Tremont gives chase into the corner as App State tries to start a forecheck. Seth Johnson pinching in. Tries to deal it backwards, but it splits the point men and out towards App State territory.
As you can see, there's a lot of open space with just a couple guys missing over the ice. We got fresh ice, open room to skate. Some good action here.
And again, 4-on-4 for the first minute 40 of this period. Now down to 40 seconds on the 4-on-4. And then the Mountaineers will go on a 14-second power play. Mountaineers on the attack, 3-on-2 as they enter the zone. Chance at front, but it goes through the skates of Bongren, and here come the Pirates the other way, trying to start a break of their own. Ben Sylvester against Richter, fires a shot. It's blocked off of Aiden Doldy. Richter gives chase. 10 seconds remaining on the 4-on-4 until a short Mountaineer power play. Richter gets around the defender as a 3-on-1. Richter in on goal. Fans on the attempted pass and somehow squirts in. Oh my, how did Shulmistra miss that? As Richter snipes something in the sky with a celly and gets the tie-in goal on a gaff made by Jackson Shulmistra. He fanned on what should have been a centering pass, and somehow the puck got in. We're all tied at 1.
And in the 4-on-4, the Mountaineers finally able to get a sustained forecheck here for the first about minute 40. But I do want to mention, after that block there in front of the net by Aiden Doldy, he was limping to the bench as that goal was scored. As Richter fanned on that pass, but stuck with it and just went for it after Shulmistra maybe made a little space off the post, and that was enough for Richter to squeeze it through.
And as you say, the puck just squibbed behind him. Now the Mountaineers on a short power play. That came with 2 seconds left on the 4-on-4, but it's an icing. So the penalty pretty much all but killed now for ECU with only 7 seconds remaining on it. The faceoff will go back into the App State end.
Knotted up at 1-1. Coming into the second period, more of what we expected with a little bit of offensive pressure from the Mountaineers. But of course, as we get closer to even strength, ECU will be ready to respond as they showed in that first period.
ECU and App State tied at 1 after the Robbie Richter goal. As Komorowski looks to chase it down, but it will be an icing again on Appalachian State. 2 minutes and 4 seconds in, all square at 1 apiece between the Mountaineers and the Pirates.
So finally, back to even strength hockey, 5-on-5. And you could say 4-on-4 went in favor of the Mountaineers, but 5-on-5 has been all Pirates through the first 20.
For Richter came at 1:38 of the second period. There's a shot that rockets over the net from Jackson Sylvester, kept in by Komorowski. Now it's Hansen to Komorowski at the point. Shot deflected, and it's kicked away by Weyer. And the puck squirms out to center as Mikkel is unable to hold it in. ECU right back on the attack after giving up the equalizer. Jackson Sylvester looked to find Hansen, could not. A couple players come down in the corner, and eventually the Mountaineers able to come up with it. Riley Brady, however, check that. Hoey gets tripped up. Puck is held in by Deegan with his skate at the point, but then it escapes out to center. Trying to give chase for the Mountaineers is Meany. He can't. They'll go off for the line change as the Pirates regroup the run. Fremont, good stick work to take it away. Centers it, and the fan shot by Caden McCabe, and the Pirates come out in the other direction. Here's Jackson Sylvester, potential 2-on-1, but the saucer pass missed the stick of Steffen.
And a smooth little move by Sylvester to split the defense there.
That it was. There's a shot by Tremont and a save by Shulmistra. He'll cover up the stop play. Speaking of saucer pass, what a pretty feed. I believe it was Mitch Martyr with the saucer pass to let Mark Stone score today in the 5-0 win for Canada against Czechia in the Olympics.
Yeah, a little bit of a similar puck flight. That looked flat through the air on that saucer pass right there. A little bit of the family recipe.
And also, it also helps that they're also teammates on the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yep.
Back to action with Mika Leslie. Ends it behind the net. Beck chases after it. He whacks at the puck. Eventually the Pirates regain control as it's cleared out to center, but it ends up back in Pirate territory where it's taken by Verreau. And hops off the skate of Coughlin. Coughlin a shot. Turned aside by Weyer. Now the Mountaineers in the other direction with the potential 3-on-2. And now coming in on goal with opportunity. A shot goes over the net for Chase Arnett. as he was running out of room and sent it wide. Pirates able to clear it out to the red.
Just split the defense with speed there and almost created a golden breakaway opportunity, but ECU sticking with the back check.
That's the line that makes it happen. Here is Carter. That shot knocked away and ends up out of play. 4 minutes, 17 seconds in, all square at one apiece between App State and ECU.
And compared to the first period, this one feeling a lot more back and forth, a lot of to and fro in the neutral zone as opposed to getting stuck in one end, as we saw for really majority of those first 20 minutes.
Now on the draw. It's controlled by ECU. Clean face-off win. Entering the zone was Sparrow, but an offside. Face-off goes back outside of the App State zone. Face-off win by ECU, but it's cleared out to center by Seth Johnson. Now back in front of Shulmistra, carrying the puck. In front of him was Mikkola. Mikkola across the red line. Mikkola into the zone, drops it back for Farrow. Farrow in the slot. Farrow a shot, he scores! Farrow over the left shoulder of Lucas Ware with Mikkola providing the traffic in front. And ECU seizes back the lead. It's 2-1.
And that's just some beautiful puck movement on the zone entry from the Pirates. Passes have been crisp on the breakout and in the neutral zone. Up to this point in the game, that offensive zone, now that it's clicking with a passing motion like that, I feel like I was watching Team USA a few hours ago against Latvia with a play like that.
A terrific shot for ECU. John Farrow with the goal. And Sylvester gets the lone assist, so each of the Sylvester brothers getting the primary assist on the two ECU goals. Time of that goal, 4:45. Put the Pirates back on top 2-1. Behind the net, Seth Johnson wraps it around the boards ahead to Beck as the top line is back out there for ASU. Puck sent in deep. Johnson retrieves in the corner, overskates it, looked to get it to Arnett. Arnett trying to get out of trouble as Hansen had come near him. Good stick work. And here comes Tremont into the ECU zone, in on goal shot. Rebound for Tremont, he scores! Crashing the net. It's the App State Mountaineers who equalize at 2 apiece as Shulmistra gave up a big rebound and it is knocked home as Chase Arnett evens the score 2.
And that was a solo effort on the breakout by Chase Arnett. Made the pass to Tremont, and after he made that pass, he got on his horse and made a beeline for the front of the net. Tremont read that, threw it off the pads, and with the net crashing, the greasy goal ties us up at 2-2.
So things picking up here, even at 2 apiece. The goal coming at the 5:18 mark, just 33 seconds, as Chase Arnett will get the goal. Lucas Tremont with the assist. And we're equalized to 2 apiece. Now here's Doldy, who appears to be okay after blocking that shot earlier. Coming in on goal, so this returns aside the shot. And it's cleared out the center. Leslie will retrieve in the neutral zone.
It's almost a miscommunication. I think McCabe just stole the puck from his own teammate there.
Now the Mountaineers on the attack again. Shulmistra juggled the puck. It's kept alive by Meany, now in behind the net. Meany looking to get it in front. Had the shot blocked. And the Pirates able to clear. Here comes Steffen in on goal. And Ware knocked it down. Net ends up off its moorings. That'll stop play at the 6:11 mark. Tied at 2.
That passing play that led to a goal for the Pirates. Just simple drop pass to the one-touch pass out wide. One touch back into the slot. Just all the time and space in the world for Farrow to shoot. And that's the name of the game, isn't it?
And top shelf. Great shot right there. Bar down. And given the Pirates a lead that only lasted 33 seconds. Equalizer coming at 5:18 from Chase Arnett. The assist going to Lucas Tremont. The top line once again gets it done for Appalachian State.
And I think this is what you were expecting coming into the game after a 1-goal first period. We've already seen 3 goals in this period, talking about the high-scoring offenses that these two have put together in their matchup so far.
I'm sure we'll see plenty more by the time this night concludes. Late night here in Winston-Salem. Puck is loose in front of the crease, and Mountaineers able to clear it out. Komorowski giving chase, and Richter able to beat him out to negate the icing. Good hustle there by Robbie Richter. Got the first goal for Appalachian State. We have a stoppage in play. It's a delayed penalty on East Carolina, so Appalachian State will go on the power play as they get someone for slashing. That was the call from the referee, and it looks like that is Thomas Dixon. That's the guilty party. I'll check that is not number 7. Going to turn around and figure out who that is. That is Jay Babruka. That gets called for slashing at 6:38.
It's the first look at the Mountaineers special teams. He's been struggling in recent weeks.
Shulmistra gobbles up the shot. Stop play. Babruka in for slashing at 6:38. Mountaineers had a 14-second power play, as did ECU. So both teams 0 for 1 on shortened power plays. There's full power play here for the Mountaineers. Shot from the high slot by Tremont. Deflects into the netting. Out of play with 1:47 to go on the man advantage.
And all it takes is a stick in a lane to break up that chance. That's the name of the game on the penalty kill here for the Pirates. Kind of sagging back, playing more of a contain, but they've done a good job so far in this game at breaking up App State passes, sitting in lanes, having active sticks. You expect to see more of it here on this penalty kill.
Mountaineers win the draw. Shot by Tremont for the point. It scores. Tremont through traffic gives Appalachian State the lead on the power play as they strike 16 seconds into the man advantage. Mountaineers 3, Pirates 2.
Tremont again scoring, or again getting on the point sheet. Like I said before the game, this line, Arnett, Tremont, Beck, when they go, the team goes. And now that they're going, Mountaineers are finally in the lead, 3-2 with 13:06 in the second.
We'll see who they credit with the goal. Looked like it was a clear shot by Tremont through traffic. We'll get a look on the replay one more time. As the Mountaineers have taken their first lead, 3-2 over ECU. And Lucas Tremont will get credit for the goal. And App State quickly on the attack here after taking lead. Chase Arnett with the lone assist on that goal. So 2-point night so far for Arnett and Tremont of Appalachian State. Now in front 3-2. Ben Sylvester tries a shot. Blocked by Johnson, out of play. We'll have a face-off coming in the ASU zone. Well, how about that? After a 1-goal first period, we'll take a look at that go-ahead goal for Appalachian State once again.
As Arnett just wins that straight back to Tremont. He steps into the shooting lane, takes that long shot. Something they haven't been doing on the power play in recent weeks. Have to think there's been a change in strategy to just really pressure the goalkeeper.
Robbie Richter trying to break loose into the ECU zone, but he's stripped of the puck. As it goes back into center, now battle in front of the penalty boxes. Richter comes up with it. Richter, it's around the defender. Richter towards the net, now circles around the net. Tries to put one in front. On the backhand, there's a shot. Glove save Shulmistra. Rebound loose. Shulmistra trying to gobble it up. And he's able to stop play despite the best efforts of Riley Brady, as App State came very close to scoring 3 unanswered.
And what a save by Shulmistra there. I think he was showing Brady about half to 3/4 of the net on that opportunity there. Gets over, falls on the puck as it's about to cross the goal line. That puck was a lot closer than I think even you and I thought it was. ECU able to keep this game at just 1 goal in favor of the Mountaineers.
Top line back out for the Mountaineers. Face off 1 back to Doldy. Beck, Doldy from the point, shot locked in front. Arnett takes a whack at it as it's loose in the corner. Battling along with Scanlon, kept it at the point by Doldy. Now in the corner, Arnett looking for Beck in front. Goes through him as he careens all the way into the ASU zone. Ware will have to stop it. He'll end up playing it off the end boards to Doldy. App State now controlling the play over the last few minutes as they've gained this 3-2 lead. Henry pass shot from the slot was wide of the net from Hansen. Back around the boards, Arnett looking to clear and gets help from Doldy, who skates it out to center.
I don't think Jace Hansen ever had that bouncing puck.
You're right about that. We have a timeout on the ice with under 12 minutes to play here in our second period. Action picking up. App State 3, East Carolina 2 here in Winston-Salem. (3-2), App State with the lead. 11 and a half minutes to play here in the second period as Dodgeral's getting ready to take this face-off for Appalachian State. Wins the draw, sent back to the point. Johnson fires it wide. Coughlin trying to clear it out. He can't, but the puck squirms out the center anyway. Zucchini fires it back in. Ends up behind the net of Shulmistra. Wrapped around the boards, and the Pirates able to skate it out with Coughlin. Chips it off the glass into ASU territory. Johnson able to get in front of Coughlin to take it away, then turned it over to Ben Took. Now it's back around to Coughlin. Winds it around the boards. It's kept in by Steffen. Ends up behind the net. Continuing the battle. Coughlin looks for somebody in front. There's a shot. Puck squirms away from the crease. Ends up back in the point for Scanlon. Scanlon a drive. That's stopped by Ware, and he will hold on to stop play with 10:42 remaining in the second period.
I think on that shot, Seth Johnson just came flying through the blue paint, spinning like a top, and ended up actually blocking the open space of the net that Ware wasn't able to get to. I think he might have just stopped a goal there. So that was a good chance in the slot for ECU.
ECU trying to get the tying goal here midway through the second period. Mountaineers win a defensive zone draw. Richter trying to clear it out. He can as it goes into the corner. Kramer looks to get after it for ECU. Now it's Ben Sylvester cycling in behind the net as it goes through Farrow. Trying to clear it out for the Mountaineers was Brady. He cut it. Now a chance here for Sylvester. Sylvester tried to go between the legs. He could not. Ends up back at the point. Farrow. As it knuckles into the glove of Ware, he'll stop play with 10:13 to go in the second period.
I'll call it a knuckleball. I'll call it a pop fly. Either way, we're ready for baseball season here.
And pitchers and catchers already reporting around the major leagues. World Baseball Classic around the corner as well. Face-off one by the Pirates. Shot from the slot is blocked. And a potential 2-on-1 the other way at the Mountaineers' hurry, but a good job on the back check by ECU to prevent that from happening. Now Peyton Craig gathers behind his own cage. Over for Richter. Banes it off the boards. Ahead to McCabe. McCabe drops it back for Richter into the ECU zone. A shot wide of the net. Now Carter turns it around towards the net. It ends up in the corner. Pirates looking to clear it out with Verreau. Komorowski tried to set off the glass, took a weird hop into the high slot, and finally Pirates able to clear it out. Then Sylvester in on goal. It's around Leslie with a shot off the chest of Ware. Nikola tries to step out, take it away from the Mountaineers. They're going to start the break. He can't. And now here's Tyler Meany. Lost the battle to Komorowski. Komorowski whacks it out towards center as it slides towards Weyer. Leslie will play it in front of Weyer. That's turned over to Mikkola. Mikkola drops it back. A shot deflected wide with Mikkola in front. Pirates on the attack here. Back at the point, Scanlon. A good intercept by Bongren to take it away from the Pirates. Ben Richard looked to swing it forward. Instead, it ends up in the skates of Arnett. He loses it to Jackson Sylvester. His shot kicked away. Big rebound left in front. Goes back towards the half wall for Hansen. Now it's fed into the corner for Jackson Sylvester. Over to Kramer. Sends it back to the point. Shot wide of the net. Another opportunity. It said Scanlon will send it around the boards. Jackson Sylvester looks for somebody in front. No one home except for the Mountaineers. Now it's Beck. In on goal, tries to dance around in front, but Shulmistra there to smother the puck and stop play with 7:55 to go in the second. 3-2 Appalachian State.
Yeah, and the Mountaineers down in the shot total, 19-22, making up ground against East Carolina. So starting to get their own kind of pressure, but ECU, those defensemen starting to pinch well below the blue line. They're trying to get this offense and trying to get this game tied up here in this second frame before they have to go talk about it in the locker room.
Shots are 10-8 in favor of Appalachian State in the second period. The puck cleared down the length of the ice, but no icing. As Weyer will play it from behind his own net. Was held in by Ben Took and swatted back in from the neutral zone into ASU territory. Beck recovers for the Mountaineers, skating in front of his own net as he's trailed by Took. Beck still with it, moving up the wing into center ice. Price getting in the zone. It looked like he tripped over the linesman. He'll head off to the bench for a line change. Now Took battling along with Walters along the boards. Took had come up with it. And here come the Pirates into App State territory. The centering pass off the stick of Coughlin. Now intercepted from behind the net. It's Coughlin. But he loses it to Aiken Carter. Chopped in front by Coughlin in towards the corner. Back in front towards Coughlin. Into the skates of Carter. And eventually, Craig lines a loose puck. And now Richter skates in the center. Richter trying to sweep it in towards the ECU zone. He can as it was taken away by Verreau. Verreau will fire it in deep into the zone. And the Pirates will try and start the attack. It's in behind the net. Wraparound shot ends up in the crease. Mountaineers trying to clear as it softly hopped off the stick of Walters before finally it's guided out by Brady. Now Brady able to clear it once again. Potential breakout here as Richter comes in. Past Komorowski. Richter on the backhand towards the net. Knocked down by Shulmistra. Puck loose towards the corner. And the Pirates with an opportunity to clear. Player, however, falls down. Nikola is able to poke it out of the zone.
So I think we have a delayed penalty here.
Yes, we do.
On the Mountaineers.
The Mountaineers with a dreaded ozone penalty and an opportunity for ECU to get the equalizer. Penalty coming at the 13:55 mark of the second period.
And this is a big opportunity for the Pirates. The momentum felt 100% in their hands. The game, everything about the speed was ECU's brand in this first period. Now is a chance for them with the man advantage to really start to set the tone again, really start to play the brand and the style that they are looking forward to playing tonight.
Well, it's Riley Brady who gets 2 minutes for slashing at 13:55, and now ECU on their first full power play. 0 for 1 with a 14-second power play in the first period. It was quickly negated after the slashing penalty on Ben Kramer. Jackson Sylvester tries to sway in front. It's knocked away and cleared down the length of the ice by Arnett. Shulmistra will play it at the hash marks and leaves it for Ben Kramer.
Sylvester had Scanlon cutting weak side, unchecked by a single white jersey. If that pass gets through, that's probably in the back of the net there.
Tremont takes the puck away, 2-on-0. Tremont with Arnett. Arnett in on goal. He lost the puck. And here comes ECU the other way. With 1:15 to go on the man advantage, Kramer enters the zone. Kramer centering pass. Good passing. Here's Ben Sylvester's shot off the side of the net. Puck loose behind the goal, and it's intercepted from the slot. Shot by Scanlon, saved by Ware. Back to the point. Now the final minute of the power play, and another penalty coming up. This will be a 5-on-3 for 59 seconds as App State takes a penalty. Chase Arnett heads to the sin bin.
Chase Arnett, the team leader in penalty minutes. Actually, I believe this will be his 25th and 26th penalty minutes on the year after getting a minor last week against Charlotte.
He's going to get 2 minutes for elbowing, so Arnett joins the captain Brady in the penalty box. 5-on-3 for 59 seconds. Prime opportunity for ECU to equalize and perhaps regain the lead here late in the second period in Winston-Salem. Winner of this game will face the 2-seed Virginia tomorrow. Two-man advantage for East Carolina. Kramer top of the circle, cross ice. Ben Sylvester trying to settle down. Sylvester, plenty of room, fires a shot and scores. Ben Sylvester on the two-man advantage equalizes for East Carolina. They'll have a minute 43 remaining on the power play as they've tied the score at 3 late in the second period.
Once again, crisp passing in the offensive zone by the Pirates leads to a goal. Obviously, they have the man advantage and the space to work with without Beck overextending himself as the lone forward. But even then, good awareness to make the right passes, buy into your system, and a good finish by Ben Sylvester to tie this game up.
Sylvester's 18th goal of the season. Had an assist earlier. It was what you'd call a Cy Young candidate. Now has 18 goals, 6 assists for the season. And ECU remains on the man advantage for the next 90 seconds after the tying goal at 15-13 from Ben Sylvester. Chase Arnett remains in the box with that elbowing penalty as Brady came out as a result of that goal. Mountaineers trying to clear. However, Meany overskates the puck. It goes into the corner for Jackson Sylvester. Yells it back at the point. Now cross ice for Rowe. Or check that. That is Steffen. Steffen tries to send it towards the net, but it's blocked. Steffen has it again at the point. Plays it off the boards. Jackson Sylvester looking for somebody in front. Puck careens in behind the net, and the Mountaineers able to clear courtesy of Jason Beck.
Jason Beck will finally get off the ice. Again, he was that lone forward in the 5-on-3 situation. Taxing situation for the forward.
Very long shift for him. 40 seconds remaining on the man advantage for ECU. Score now tied at 3 with less than 3:40 to go in the second period. Battle along the boards. Meany wins it out, clears it down into ECU territory. She'll miss her out to play it before it reaches the goal line. Missed on the first clear-out attempt. So they'll leave it behind the net for Kramer. Battling all Richter and a hard hit. Oh, that was a bad hit as Richter came down hard and he stopped play. Boy, that was a ferocious check right there. He gets up pretty quickly, though. It's good sight to see. Play is stopped with 3:18 remaining in the period and 14 seconds left on the ECU power play.
Yeah, I think Richter just had his head down there along the boards. ECU defender ready to stand him up. Richter was slow to get up there.
That looked like it was against Ben Sylvester. Sylvester, as we mentioned, 6'5", 215. Robbie Richter, 6'1", 205.
I think the 4-inch difference there put Sylvester's shoulder well into the body.
ECU unable to get anything going on the remainder of this power play, which has 7 seconds remain on it. Now an icing call. Brings the faceoff back to the right of Solmistra.
And we're seeing some physicality here in this game, but not quite the level of physicality I think you and I expected up to this point. However, now up to 5 goals in this period, I think we're reaching the goal-scoring levels we expected in this one.
Now we have as the puck goes out of play off the attempted shot by Bondgren. However, we did see the biggest hit of the game thus far moments ago from Ben Sylvester. That was quite a check.
And that might be the tide turner. That might be the moment that we'll look back on as when this physicality really started to ramp up.
Here's Tremont. Tremont with a shot. Blockered away by Solmistra. Can't clear. Team's now at even strength. Arnett looks to get it behind the goal for Bondgren, but instead Pirates will control as Kramer tips it out to center. Sylvester sends it in the rest of the way. That's Ben Sylvester. Seth Johnson gathers behind his own cage. Skates it into center. Gains the red. Into the zone shot. Kicked away by Sylvester with the right pad. And the Mountaineers are unable to keep it in. Seth Johnson able to take it back. Meany didn't have a stick ready. Now a 3-on-1 offside.
And that was actually too many men.
And too many men.
The Mountaineers, one forward who was changing, played that puck. They had 4 forwards out there, 2 defensemen. And now they'll go back to the box to kill another penalty. Yeah,
it looked like it bounced off while a player was still on the bench, and had a foot, or a skate, I should say, on the ice. So too many men on the ice penalty. That actually happened to James Madison in the last game. Got too many men on the ice penalty on a very similar play. So it'll be Nelson. That's Odin Nelson who will serve the penalty with 2:19 remaining. .17:41 the time of the bench minor for too many men on the ice. So ECU back on the power play where they're 1 for 3, scored on a 2-man advantage to tie the game at 3. Now looking to regain the lead here with less than 2 minutes to play in the second period. Power play is 90 seconds remaining on as the puck squirms out to center. Ben Sylvester will pick it back up in his own end. Now into the zone, Scanlon drops it back. Jackson Sylvester, cross for Kramer. Kramer high slot, Kramer shot, it's blocked. Potential breakout opportunity here, that's a good feed. Ahead for McCabe, Sylvester comes out of his cage, smothers the puck, it'll cover it up all the way at the face-off circle. He got aggressive there, trying to snuff out that breakaway, and Shalmistra does the job to stop play with 1:07 left on the ECU power play.
Yeah, and McCabe just pushed that a little bit farther, I think, than he wanted to retain possession there. It allowed him to skate to it, but the fearless Jackson Shalmistra coming out to the hash marks and says, I'll take that from you.
Shots 24-21 in favor of ECU, or 10 shots on goal to the Mountaineers 12. So Mountaineers out shooting ECU in this second period. That's all square at 3. Final 55 seconds of the ECU power play. And right now, a good penalty kill for Appalachian State as Hoey's able to clear it down into Pirate territory again. On the entry, Johnson chases it down in the corner, ridden into the boards by Scanlon. Now it's Beck. Looks to clear it out off the boards he can. It was held in by Steffen. And now on a second try, there's Hoey to clear it down the length of the ice. Coughlin, as the second unit comes on for ECU, loses the puck behind the net to Beck, tries to swing it back in front. And Shalmistra pokes it away. Penalty coming up. It does appear. Find out who's the guilty party here. Looks like ECU is going to lose their power play with 18 seconds remaining on it. So a 4-on-4 coming up, and then the Mountaineers on a power play for minute 42. They get a cross check on Ben Took.
Just no need for that from the Pirates. As they've shown with that first power play unit, with the Sylvesters out there that we just saw, they've been moving the puck incredibly well with the man advantage. That just felt like a golden opportunity they may have lost there.
Well, it's been a penalty-filled and goal-filled second period here in Winston-Salem. The game that's now tied at 3 apiece. 4-on-4 is about to expire as Nelson will come out of the box after serving the too many men on the ice penalty. A shot on goal and a save by Weyer. Now the Mountaineers on the power play with 15 seconds remaining in the period. Swing it back in front. Up loose in the slot. Mikkola able to dig it out. As he skates it to center, he'll just send it down the rest of the way, and that'll do it for an entertaining second period here at the Fairgrounds Arena. They'll App State and East Carolina combined for 5 goals in this second period as they traded the lead and are tied at 3 apiece after 40 minutes of play. The Mountaineers will have a power play of 1 minute and 23 seconds at the start of the third period.
And this game, incredibly back and forth up to this point. Looked like ECU was demanding and controlling the pace of play earlier in the first. App State came back with an answer in the second. We should have one heck of a third period now.
It's back to square one as we're ready for the start of the third period in a few moments. App State, East Carolina tied at 3. We'll be back to Winston-Salem in a moment. Welcome back for the start of the third period. ECU and Appalachian State tied at 3 apiece. Paul Roper, Adam Pershko with you. Thank you for staying with us. Up late through the night, we are officially into Friday. A game that started shortly after 10:30. Very action-packed second period that saw 5 goals and 5 penalties. App State will be on a power play for the first minute 23 of the third period. And what we expected more physicality, more scoring. We got that in bunches during that second period, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the speed, the physicality, like you said, the scoring level that we expected coming into this game. It also felt like both teams fully settled into this game, specifically Appalachian State, who looked uncomfortable through the first 20. ECU did find a little bit of trouble there in that second period after dominating the first. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond after having a few minutes to talk it out and get their legs back under them.
Shots on goal in the second period were 13 for Appalachian State, 11 for ECU. Pirates still leading total shots 25-22 as we head into the third period. Goals for ECU are Deegan, Farrow, and Ben Sylvester. Richter, Arnett, and Tremont the goals for Appalachian State. We're on the power play for the first minute 23 to open this third period. Mountaineers control the draw, wearing the whites today against the Pirates dressed in black. Johnson leaves into the zone. Along the way, now skates into the corner, centers a pass, and ends up off the boards. Kramer clears out ahead to Ben Sylvester. Sylvester scored the equalizer on a 2-man advantage. Centers it over to Kramer. He fans on the shot. Now the Mountaineers quickly turn it back the other way, and they have numbers. Beck ahead to Tremont. Tremont with a shot. Blocked as it's taken by Scanlon. Now it's in behind the net. Beck trying to dig it out. Beck whacks it back to the point for Arnett. Arnett settles it down, goes cross-ice, shot from the point, deflects wide, and in towards the corner. Tremont gathers, leaves it back for Arnett. Arnett, toe drag with a shot, stopped by Shulmistra, and he'll cover up the puck with 30 seconds remaining on the penalty kill for ECU.
And more of what we've expected to see tonight from the Pirates, just good defensive structure in the defensive zone, shutting down those passing lanes. Mountaineers forced to move the puck around the outside, not really creating any real offensive pressure up to this point.
Here's Arnett. And around the boards, now Brady. Brady crossed to Arnett. Arnett with a shot, deflects out of play off of Caputo. Another face-off to come to the right of Shulmistra. 1:03 gone by in the third period, 20 seconds left on the App State man advantage.
In the first, through the center, through a high-danger area, passing this power play for the Mountaineers, but just too long to gather the puck from Arnett. It's not a recipe for success.
They win the draw. Tremont with a shot. Well wide of the net, ends up behind the cage. Brady trying to chase it down. Now Beck in the corner. 9 seconds of this power play. Behind the net, Arnett tries the wraparound, ends up back. There's a good pass to Brady. A shot off the post. Another chance. That one just squirms wide. Johnson tries. That's fended off by Shulmistra. Team's now at even strength as Took exits the box. And the Pirates able to clear. Not away with too many men on the ice. Off that puck that went off the bench. Now here's a shot and a save by Weyer. Rebound left in front. And the Mountaineers able to dig it out with Tremont and out the center. Here's a 2-on-1. Doldy in on goal, sends it cross ice, and fanning on the one-timer was Arnett as the Pirates regain control. Now here's Jackson Sylvester, lost the puck. Doldy takes it away for Appalachian State.
Doldy's pass for Arnett in that 2-on-1 just landed in Arnett's feet. If that landed a foot shorter, that's a golden opportunity.
Mikula hard hit at center ice on Caden McCabe. Mountaineers now on the attack. Here's McCabe with a shot. Shulmistra looked behind him. The puck ends up back in the high slot. That's fired wide by Leslie. And Shulmistra able to cover up. Stop play, 2:23 gone by in the third period, tied at 3.
Both teams flying in the offensive zones to start this period. Mountaineers creating some sort of sustained pressure here, reeling the puck around, trying to get those shots from the point and traffic in front, but ECU jumping on these counterattack chances and odd man rushes.
Aiken Carter wins the draw. Wrap around. Ends up knocked over towards Steffen, who will carry it into center. Now Carter gets it back. Leaves it for Walter. Sends it down to the ECU territory. That'll be an icing on App State. And the faceoff goes back to the Mountaineer zone.
And also through the first 2.5 minutes, feels like an increased sense of urgency from both teams. with only 20 minutes remaining in a tie game in this play-in game. Both teams playing like they have something to lose here because, well, they have their season on the line here.
Win or go home, and to clarify on the bracket, if App State wins, they'll actually face the top seed St. Joe's tomorrow, and if ECU wins, they will take on the 2 seed Virginia. As Shulmistra covers up, now face-off coming to his right with 2 minutes and 40 seconds gone by in a tie game. And these teams met twice in October in Fayetteville, both high-scoring games. ECU won the opening game after scoring 5 unanswered, down 4-1. And App State winning 7-4 in the second game. Here's Kramer into the App State zone with a shot well wide of the net. Nelson trying to clear it out as it was held in at the point by Kramer. On the backhand, Ben Sylvester. Barrow tries to put it in front. Here's Kramer in on goal. Off the side of the net, it's taken by Craig. Wraps it back around the boards, held it at the point by Varro. Now Sylvester tried to get it to the slot. He could not. It's Barrow looking in front. Knocked away by Dodrill. Kept in at the high slot by Caputo. Now Varro at the point. Over for Caputo at the circle. Centers it. Instead it goes to Varro, cross ice. And ends up into the corner. Walters picks it up there and clears it. Went off of Kramer to negate the icing.
Finally a reprieve from this relentless East Carolina forecheck.
East Carolina has come out swaying after they killed off the penalty that began our third period. Killed off the power play at the start of the third period, I should say. Now it's center ice, it's Arnett. Loses it, Jackson Sylvester moves it forward for Jace Hansen, giving chase with Hoey. Hoey gets there first, trying to clear it out, kept in by Jackson Sylvester. Now in the corner, pass set in front. Richard couldn't get a stick on it. Back of the point. Shot blocked in front by Leslie. And Tremont knocks it out towards center. And through center, Alex Castro will dump it into the App State zone. Hoey picks it up behind the net. Wrapped around the boards. Jackson Sylvester swats it away from Beck, but then it's cleared out by Hoey. Sends it down the length of the ice, however. That's an icing. It goes back to the App State zone. 4:53 gone by here in the third period, tied at 3.
And in the offensive zone for the Pirates, they are simply beating Appalachian State to every loose puck, everything ringed up the boards, everything that is a 50-50 with a foot race. It is all Pirates right now for the past 2 minutes.
Mountaineers unable to control the draw as it was eventually won out by Coughlin. As it ends up in the corner, centering feed from Steffen goes through. Now Hoey. Good hit behind the net. Tremont takes control of the puck. He'll launch it down the ice. This will be another icing on ASU.
Just unable to break it out, unable to make the passes to set up the breakout. All App State can do at this moment is ice it. East Carolina not taking their foot off the gas. They know what this game means. They know what this kind of pressure means against App State.
And Sylvester on the face-off against Beck. Beck was able to force it out. Beck with Pochek on the blue line by Scanlon. It's sent in towards Shulmistra. He'll leave it for Scanlon. And the Pirates will attempt to break out. Farrow. Back to Scanlon. Lays it off the boards to Farrow. Into the App State zone. Farrow top of the circle. Shot wide of the net. Kramer. Leaves it behind the net for Ben Sylvester. Sylvester waiting. Looks to send one cross ice. Goes into the skates of Brady. And the Mountaineers able to clear a potential 2-on-1. This is Richter on the left side looking for Carter. But a good play defensively by Varro. Keep it out of harm's way. Now Doldy, cross ice for Leslie. Richter trying to enter the zone. This should be a delayed offside, and it is on Appalachian State.
Richter just fanning on the puck there, trying to cut to the middle, loses possession, and that'll be enough for the offsides, but more of that back and forth we expected. Incredibly high-octane hockey so far up to this point, with a lot of offensive pressure from both teams.
Teams looking to break the deadlock here in the final game of the day in Winston-Salem as the puck ends up off the stick of Hansen, but he couldn't keep it alive. Now the Mountaineers try to clear. They can't. Another opportunity, and there's a clear. Softly down the ice by Peyton Craig. No icing, so Shulmistra will pick it up in the corner. Plays it off the end boards to Komorowski. Komorowski chips it off the dasher as the puck squirms out in the center in towards App State territory. Back to retrieve it is Walters. Plays it off a high stick. They're going to wave that off. Mikkola now has it for ECU, over for Deegan. Deegan plays it off the wall. Walters trying to take it away. Instead, it's Jackson Sylvester who dumps in the ASU territory. It's back out in the center. And there's Tyler Meany trying to sweep it ahead. Jackson Sylvester intercepts, regains the zone. Now Deegan, the game's first goal scorer, wraps it around the boards. Went through Steffen. Mountaineers trying to clear, they can't. Pirates on the attack. And the puck ends up out in the center. A chance for McCabe. McCabe trying to beat Deegan in on goal. McCabe with a shot saved by Shulmistra. And he'll cover up. Good opportunity for Caden McCabe. But Shulmistra stands up to the challenge and keeps the score tied at 3 with 12:31 to go.
McCabe's broken through a few times up to this point in the game. Hasn't been able to possess the puck or get any chance. He finally is able to get a chance, but Jackson Shulmistra's been waiting for that.
There's a shot by Johnson, stick to side by Shulmistra. I was about to say, Caden McCabe has shown off some wheels in this game. It's the third time I've seen him try to break loose here against Shulmistra. Nelson trying to keep it alive. Over for Zucchini. Whoever took and Nelson both fall down. Mountaineers regain control. Zucchini from the point, just wide of the net as he walked into the slot and fired it wide.
Forcing his way into the high danger area there.
Kept in by Dodgerel. His shot well wide of the net. As the puck ricochets to the point, kept in by Hoey. Long shot, deflection, score!
The tip in by Leo Zucchini.
It was Hoey with the point shot. Zucchini deflected it home. And a big-time goal for Zucchini. Breaks the deadlock with 11:44 to play. ASU on top 4-3.
It was also Leo Zucchini's first point of the year with that deflection goal. You see him get into the high slot or get up to the top of the circle there as he circles back down, fighting for the battle on the boards was Hoey. He eventually got that shot down, and it was tipped and put away by Leo Zucchini for his first goal this season.
Wouldn't that be something? If this score holds up at 4-3, the game-winning goal in both of these games would belong to players that didn't have a point entering today.
Of course, the other game you're referring to was that Charlotte game that just ended against James Madison, where they won 1-0.
Yeah, the hero of that game was Dylan Sessa, who had his first point of the season on the game-winning goal in overtime. So App State back in front. What's been a back-and-forth affair here in Winston-Salem. Arnett in on goal, loses it behind the net. It's back in front. There's a chance for Tremont. Shulmistra trying to find the puck, squirms in. Beck with the hard work was able to bother Shulmistra as he couldn't hang on to it. And App State has taken a 2-goal lead.
The work behind the net by Arnett gets that going, creates the one-timer pass for Tremont, who fires a bullet. Shulmistra not able to contain it. And Beck is there like the waste management man, just to clean up the garbage.
When he gets the job done, we'll take a look at it one more time. Tremont, and the puck ended up in the skates of Verot, and there was Beck to bang it in. Now remember, that first line for ASU has a goal. Arnett, Tremont, and Beck. It's 5-3 as App State has scored twice in a span of less than a minute here in Winston-Salem. ECU will try to answer. Shots on goal now 28-26. In favor of Appalachian State after they trailed 14-9 in shots following the opening period. Mikula from the red line will fire it in. Puck lands in the corner. Walters picks it up. Clears it out through Komorowski. This will be a potential icing call. Richter can beat it out, and he cannot. It will be an icing. Richter trying to plead his case, but it will be icing on App State. Faceoff goes back to the ASU zone.
And while the Mountaineers are in the lead on the scoreboard, and they also are finally in the lead in the shot total department, East Carolina has as much potential as anybody to go down and score a quick goal or two. They've shown talent, they've shown speed, they've shown crisp passing, they've shown strong shooting. It's only a matter of time before another one breaks through for the purple and gold.
There's 2 goals, by the way, in the span of 34 seconds. Zucchini at 8:18, Beck at 8:52. It was Zucchini from Hoey at 8:18 and Beck from Tremont at 8:52. Now ECU with their backs to the wall, down by 2. Approaching midway point of this one of the third period in Winston-Salem. This could be an opportunity here for Steffen, but he wasn't able to get in good position as Coughlin shoots it off the side of the net. And the Mountaineers unable to clear as held in by Coughlin. Now here's McCabe trying to get it on another break, but he was held off by Caputo. McCabe keeps it alive. Bondgren in towards goal, and Shulmistra smothers the puck to stop play. 9:45 remaining. App State 5, ECU 3. We're back for the remainder of this one after these. Back to action, Winston-Salem. Final 9:40 of this one. App State winning 5-3 over ECU. 2 goals by the Mountaineers in a span of 34 seconds here in this third period to regain the lead and add to it. Paul Roper and Adam Persico with you. Thank you for joining us for Winston-Salem opening night of the 2026 ACCHL Men's Division II Elite Championship. Puck goes into App State territory. The icing's waved off as Johnson picks it up behind the cage of Ware. Well, hasn't been tested much in this third period. Only 1 shot on goal for ECU. Now it's Beck. In the zone, sends it towards Shulmistra, and he'll stop play with exactly 9 minutes remaining in regulation.
Yeah, and you mentioned that one shot for the Pirates up to this point. The pressure and the passing and the offensive possessions have been there for the Pirates, while up to this point in the game, App State has struggled to really cover those passing lanes in the middle of the ice. They've done a much better job in the third period as they've extended this lead.
Shots are 7-1 App State here in the third period. Trying to add to their 2-goal lead here. Shulmistra collides with Arnett behind the net. Arnett got the worst of that as the Mountaineers try to keep it in. Beck with a shot. That's fed it off by Shulmistra. The Pirates clear. Puck goes down into App State territory. No icing as Hansen picks it up behind the net. Now Mikula at the half wall. Looks to center it. And the puck was tipped away by Leslie. There's an opportunity here for ECU. Tremont is just able to clear it out over the stick of Komorowski. Out to the hash marks to play it is Shulmistra. Jackson Sylvester back into the zone. In behind the net, looks to put one in front. And it's cleared away by Doldy into the corner. Leslie will try and whack it out. And the Mountaineers clear. Now a 2-on-1. Brady tried to come in on the backhand. Over to Richter. Richter turnaround shot. Shulmistra the save. Puck loose. And it ends up towards the near side half wall and cleared out the center.
Another dangerous puck bouncing through the blue paint there for the Mountaineers.
Mountaineers have certainly had a second win here in this third period to take a 2-goal lead, a period in which they've had more chances. Now here's Craig behind the net trying to clear it out. Able to get help from Bondgren. Now Bondgren skates into the ECU zone, a shot, and it's ended off by the glove of Shulmistra. And here come the Pirates. And then intercepting was Walters as he whacks it back in towards ECU territory for an icing. So the faceoff goes back into Appalachian State territory with 7:22 left to play. Mountaineers leading 5-3.
See Mugno not happy with that icing. I think he thinks that Ryan Scanlon could have skated a little bit harder to touch up that puck in time, and that'll give the Pirates an offensive zone faceoff here.
The Pirates need to find a spark here. Now being outshot 31-26 for the game. 9-1 in the third period. Turnaround shot for Coughlin off the faceoff when was blocked. Bondgren trying to clear it out. It's held in by Verreau. Centering pass, it was poked away by Walters into the corner. ECU remains on the cycle. Here's Coughlin. Goes cross ice. Verreau holds it in at the point. Over to Coughlin in the slot. Shot deflects wide with Took in front. ECU getting some good pressure here. But the back pass is going to go all the way back towards Shulmistra. He'll play it from the circle. Now it's Caputo. Caputo skates into ASU territory, being chased by Walters. And he gets through the check of Tremont. Verreau trying to take it back. Verreau, bottom of the circle, a shot. As a player is without his stick. That is Tyson Walters without his stick. But the Mountaineers able to clear. They'll get a fresh body on the ice. Under 6.5 to play. Arnett into the ECU zone. Centers Tremont in on goal. Backhand. Went wide of the net. Komorowski ahead to Mikkola. Now Farrow. Over to Ben Sylvester with a shot. Blockered away by Weyer. And cleared out down the length of the ice. Komorowski and Arnett giving chase. Arnett able to win the battle to negate the icing against Komorowski, who falls down. Arnett trying to pick it up. Komorowski still on the ice. He's able to whack it to Ben Sylvester. And Sylvester will clear the danger for ECU.
Komorowski on the ground might have been what allowed him to get that puck.
Now here's Ben Sylvester circling around the boards. And takes it out, offside. Couldn't hold it in as he was bothered by Aiken Carter. Play stops with 5:40 to go. App State up by 2.
And we're getting that pressure that we expected the Pirates to answer with, of course, down 2 in the crunch time of this game. But they're still not getting a lot of shots through. Mountaineers putting bodies in front, clearing the front for Weyer, and not much has been on net.
They only have 2 shots on goal here in this third period. And trail by 2 as Robbie Richter takes it into the ECU zone. Now it ends up behind the net as Jackson Sylvester clears it back out in the center. ECU trying to get back into this game down by a pair. Under 5:20 left to play. Jackson Sylvester in behind the net. Richard. Player taken down. And Carter looking to flip it clear. He can't. It was blocked. Battle along the boards. Hoey trying to dig it out. Jackson Sylvester chips in. And now the Pirates try to center it. It ends up into the stick of Riley Brady. And he'll clear it out. Deegan scored the game's opening goal. Lone goal the first period. 5 goals in the second. We were tied at 3 going into the third. And the Mountaineers scored twice in 34 seconds. A deflection by Zucchini. And Beck on the doorstep. Make it 5-3, and now 5-4. On the centering pass in front, ECU is able to get within 1. Make it 5-4 as Ben Took is able to crash the net and jam it home. And the Pirates back in this game with 4:40 left to play. It's Appalachian State 5, East Carolina 4.
Yeah, and the Pirates a dominating play along the boards and behind the net there. Puck squeeze out to Sylvester. He's able to get the pass off in an easy one time on the doorstep, just a foot outside the blue paint. Is enough to separate this game by 1 now.
And there it is. It's Sylvester again. Ain't any Sylvester. I mean, both Sylvesters have done a number in this game, and it's Jackson that gets the assist. And right in back of the action, Steffen sends one wide, back the other way. Here's Arnett in the zone. His shot over the net of Shulmistra. Leslie tried to keep it in, could not. Coughlin skates it into the ASU zone. And now we've got a game again. 5-4 App State. Took. Over for Coughlin, now cross ice. There's a shot, and a glove save by Weyer on Will Steffen. Able to snuff out the potential equalizer. Stops the clock with 4:06 to go.
Well-placed shot by Steffen as he had plenty of time there to try and beat Weyer, but Weyer, better response. Keeps it at 5-4 now.
Weyer playing his hometown of Winston-Salem. Parents sitting 5 rows in front of us here at the Fairgrounds Arena. Face-off won by the by the Pirates, and Komorowski with a shot, and player went down. It's going to be a delayed penalty on ECU as Richter fell down from a heap on the errant high stick from Sean Komorowski trying to keep it in. And Richter still slow to get up.
And that's exactly what I was about to say. Can't tell what he's grabbing. He went down pretty slowly there. See, he's able to get back on his feet.
Well, the official will also have to check if he draws blood, because that could mean it's a double minor, which is rather important considering we have less than 4 minutes to go. Komorowski frustrated. You saw him slamming the boards in the penalty box. Right now, the officials are discussing it. It is a high-sticking penalty that comes at the 16:03 mark, and depending on what this call is here, if it's going to be a 2 or a 4. And right now, we're about to find out as they're about to post the penalty time on the board.
And I imagine this will be a 2. I didn't see any blood, but of course, it's slow to get up. You never know the severity of the injury from where we're sitting right now.
And they're called a major slashing, so not a high stick. We're going to take a look once again at the replay. So they're going to take a look at video review for a potential major. Do have video reviews here in the ACCHL. Right now, at the moment, they've put 5 minutes on the board, and boy, granted, it is a 1-goal game, but that almost puts a nail in the coffin because it's hard enough to come back from 1 goal. It's even harder when you're potentially shorthanded for the rest of the game because a 5-minute penalty does not expire.
Yeah, as the referees confer, I believe we call that in the business a momentum killer for the East Carolina Pirates. They just got a goal back, now down 1, but if this stands 4 or 5 minutes, that one absolutely hurts, because one thing important to note as we took a look at replay at that, so you can see he makes good contact trying to break Richter up from the breakaway chance there on the 2-hand slash.
And if that's what they see, it's a very quick review from the officials.
And if it stands, even if Appalachian were to score again, they of course get to stay in the advantage for the rest of this game as it is a major.
Yep, because it's a major penalty, and I'm sure ECU is already thinking strategy. Well, when are we going to pull the goalie? And, well, that becomes even more difficult when you're already down a man.
And does this make
and
you...
they've actually downgraded it to a 2, so it is not a major penalty.
And I was going to ask if that makes you pull Shulmistra earlier, but that question is no longer void here.
Well, App State will have other ideas. They're on the man advantage. They scored one earlier on a 2-man. They scored one earlier, to say, at 6:54, courtesy of Tremont. As play stops with 3:40 to go in the third period. App State on the man advantage for the next minute 43.
And obviously the Mountaineers want to get another goal here, but this isn't the place or the time for them to overextend themselves in the offensive zone. It's about playing positional hockey, about knowing your responsibility. But for the Pirates, there's not anything you can leave on the ice. That solo forechecker on this penalty kill needs to move a lot like we saw earlier from the Appalachian State Mountaineers and Tremont and Arnett. That's how ECU needs to play on offense here in order to really get on their horse here.
App State 1 for 3 on the power play as they set it to the zone. Scanlon takes it out, trying to clear. Johnson had kept it in, but the door opens in the corner, and that is why play is stopped. Door ajar in the corner with 1:29 to go in the App State power play.
I've called quite a few games in this rink. I don't think I've seen the door open from a hit before. I think that's a first for me.
Saw that a few times in the OHL because our building at the time in Erie was not particularly good. The door seemed to open once a week. This is the OHL, mind you, which is a very high-quality league. That since has been replaced. Erie Insurance Arena is now a very nice facility.
The refs are inspecting the door to make sure that it's not going to keep popping open.
That's right. A minor delay here at 3:26 to go. App State 5, East Carolina 4. App State on the power play for the next 1:29 on a slashing call on Sean Komorowski. Initially ruled a major, but after video review downgraded to a 2-minute minor penalty. So prompted timeout for these teams as they inspect the door that is to Shulmistra's left in the corner. I'll recap what has been a fun game so far. ECU scored the only goal of the first period, courtesy of a point shot from Noah Deegan at 8:24. Then 5 goals in the second period. Robbie Richter, the equalizer, 1:38. Farrow put the Pirates back on top at 4:45 of the second. Take a look one more time at Ben Took's goal that made it 5-4.
And I believe that was only the third shot of the period for the Pirates on that goal.
That is correct. It was only their third shot. In fact, they only have 4 shots of the second period. They're being outshot 9-4. Here's the problems have been fixed with the door. This was the slashing penalty, and we take a look once again, and not much there to keep it at a major. Now, I thought the problems were done with the door, but now they've brought the hammer out.
The door was closed temporarily. The hammer's been out. I've been watching him whack at what I imagine is the latch to keep it in place so this doesn't happen again. I mean, hey, if we can't get it into place, just get a couple guys to lean up against the door and push back.
3:26 to go. 1:29 left on the App State power play, looking to add some insurance ahead 5-4. They win the faceoff. Tremont deals it over to Arnett, and his shot was blocked and back into App State territory.
Yeah, he broke Jackson Sylvester's stick with that block, actually.
Tremont battling with Coughlin for the puck. It's into the corner. Beck able to get in front of Coughlin. Back to Arnett, now to Beck.
That's that penalty kill pressure I was talking about that you need to see if you're a Pirate right now if you want to get back into this game down 1.
Into the final minute of the App State power play. In the late stages of the third period, Mountaineers holding on to a 5-4 lead. Coughlin at center. Ahead to Jackson Sylvester, now to Coughlin, taken away by Tremont. Enters the zone with Beck. Tremont will just dump it in the rest of the way and go off for the line change. Beck trying to battle in the corner for the puck along with Caputo. They continue to battle. Beck trying to dig it out along with Brady, and the puck floats out of play into the netting with 30 seconds remaining on the App State man advantage. So if ECU is able to kill this penalty, I would imagine once they can get that puck in deep and start a forecheck, we'll see Shulmistra to the bench for the extra attacker. Still have 30 seconds to kill off on the minor. App State controls with Bongren. Now Richter in on goal, hits the side of the net. McCabe wraps it around the board, stopped at the point by Doldy. McCabe puts one in front. Bongren now finds Richter. Final 5 seconds of the power play for the Mountaineers. Richter trying to squeeze it around the defender Scanlon. Goes in behind the net. Penalty killed off as Komorowski returns to the ice. Teams at even strength. Here in the final minute 50 of the third period in Winston-Salem. Ben Sylvester takes it out in the center. He gains the red line. The puck goes into half-state territory. Shulmistra still in his crease. And Doldy will control as the Mountaineers try to hold on the final minute 35. Richter across the red line into the ECU zone, trying to get around the defender. He cannot. It's a good play by Ryan Scanlon. Off the end boards to Caputo.
Robbie Richter did an excellent job that shift, killing precious seconds off the rest of this game.
Mountaineers trying to create some pressure with Arnett. Arnett coming in on goal around the poke check. Goes between the legs and scores. And a dagger from Chase Arnett is able to go in alone. Nice moves going in on goal. Goes backhand 5-hole on Shulmistra. And App State takes a 6-4 lead with a minute 11 to go.
Just smooth. Just a disgusting move by Arnett. See him get past the defender. Little forehand, backhand, head fake right between the wickets. And that'll extend the Mountaineers' lead.
How about this? This will come as no surprise. Another 10-goal game between these two schools. 10-goal game, 11-goal game, now 10-goal game. And maybe a chance for one more if ECU decides to pull the goaltender with 1:11 to go. They have to get control first. We'll see. Keep an eye on Shulmistra. He is fixing to get out of his crease. He's at the hash marks now, and he'll start going to the bench for the extra attacker. The Mountaineers trying to regain control. It's cleared out by Beck. So Arnett with his second goal tonight. And he is on the ice to try and get the hat trick, something his line mate Tremont did in their previous meeting in October against these same Pirates. 40 seconds left to play, and the Pirates can't get any pressure. Walters takes it, tries to flip it out. It's blocked. Chance in front. It's scooped up by the goaltender Weyer. The stop play with 31.5 seconds to go.
Coming into this game, the season series was 1-1 as timeout is called here. But, man, this top line for Appalachian State has the Pirates numbered so far this year. You mentioned the hat trick for Tremont last time they met. And then so far in this game, outside of Richter and the one goal from Zucchini, the other four goals from Appalachian State have come from really this one line.
Well, here is the one that made it 6-4 as Arnett was able to take it away from Scanlon. A series of dekes, the backhanded in between the legs of Shulmistra. Give the Mountaineers a much-needed insurance goal with a minute 12 to go. Unassisted goal for Arnett. The second of the game at 18:48. So the timeout called by ECU. They have 6 attackers on the ice and an empty net with 31.5 seconds remaining. Face-off will be to the right of the goaltender Weyer. Jackson Sylvester on the draw against Aiken Carter. Carter able to win the draw, and the Mountaineers able to clear. Chase down. Brady tries to pick it up, sends it towards the empty net, but it would have been a delayed offside. Now it's Carter will have a try and chance at it, and the puck ends up flipped out of play with 16.9 to go. And Shulmistra will come back out to protect his net with the face-off coming up in the ECU zone. And the Mountaineers, for all intents and purposes, you're headed to a date with St. Joe's tomorrow at 7 p.m. as the 10 seed. Shot from the point deflects wide. That's chased down by Carter in the corner. One last gasp for the Pirates. As Farrell winds up, it goes into the chest of Weyer with 1.3 to go. But the Mountaineers will wrap up a victory here, and they'll move on to face the St. Joe's Hawks tomorrow night after one more face-off.
Yeah, and a bit improbable for the Mountaineers to be in this situation. They were dead last in the Carolina division, the M2 Elite ACCHL. As Brady gives a shove after the whistle, but both teams will go their separate ways.
Well, the Mountaineers take the season series over ECU 2-3 with the third game, ending the tenure for East Carolina here in the ACCHL Men's Division II Elite Championship, and App State is the 10th seed, able to grab a victory thanks to 3 third-period goals. Zucchini, Beck, and Arnett, the goal scorers in the third for Appalachian State. Ben took the lone goal in the third for ECU as the teams will now shake hands at center ice. Well-played game between these squads, and App State moves on to face St. Joe's tomorrow.
Yeah, and I mostly want to highlight what an impressive bounce-back performance this was for Lucas Ware. He had a tough go of it against Charlotte, was getting peppered from every direction last week, and now this week he has the mental resilience to not only bounce back, but lead his team to a victory in a play-in playoff game.
Final shots on goal, App State 32, East Carolina 31. As App State has 10 shots on goal in the third period, App State 6. They also win where it counts in goal, 6-4. App State with the victory over East Carolina. And that wraps up the first day of action here in the ACCHL Men's Division II Elite Championship. We welcome you back to Winston-Salem, where Appalachian State moves on to the quarterfinals after they defeat East Carolina 6-4. Paul Roper and Adam Persico now joined by Appalachian State head coach Matt Mugno. And coach, a terrific effort for Appalachian State. Even though they fell behind after a first period that ECU seemed to control, they came back firing in the second period and outplayed ECU in the third period. Your thoughts on your performance over these 60 minutes from your Mountaineers?
They knew that this could be the last game for them, and they knew they wanted to play again. They want to be here tomorrow. We put up a dang good fight against St. Joe's earlier this season, and we're ready to battle them again.
Coach, you guys are coming off a really tough rivalry loss to end the season. Now you come into a play-in game. You have to kind of change the momentum and mindset. What went into changing the mindset coming into this game?
Rinse and repeat. It's a long season. Play a lot of games, same as the NHL season. You got to rinse them and repeat. These are the games that matter, and these are the games we show up for.
Well, speaking of rinse and repeat, you had another terrific performance from your top line of Beck, Arnett, and Tremont. 2 goals for Chase Arnett, including the dagger late on a nice move after he stole the puck and went 5-hole on Shulmister. Just talk about the play of that trio over the last few games.
That's our heart and soul. That's our bread and butter. That line does everything for us. They came in here their freshman year. That was my first year, and we've ridden them all year, all 3 years, really. I love those guys to death, and I wouldn't trade anything for what I've had with those 3 guys all 3 of these years.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win. Good luck against St. Joe's tomorrow.
Thank you.
And that is head coach of Appalachian State, Matt Mugno, and we will hear from our player of the game, and he is Chase Arnett, who had 2 goals in the contest, also chipped in with an assist. Chase, another terrific game from you. Just talk about the effort that your teammates had after falling behind in the first period, involved in a back-and-forth affair throughout the second. That third period, you truly dominated. Just talk about the job done by you and your teammates this evening.
Yeah, all the credit to my teammates, Lucas and Net. None of it's possible without them. Our defense did great, especially in that third period to lock it down. Especially on the forecheck, they allowed us to get down and dirty in the corners and do our job down there, and that's all you can ask for.
Chase, you and Lucas Tremont have really created this insane 1-2 penalty kill where the effort level is arguably even higher than most 5-on-5 lines. What goes into the mindset to be able to pressure a team while you're down a man?
Yeah, just chemistry. We know where each other are going to be at all times, and we just put the puck there without thinking. It's pretty simple. That's something that just comes with time. Played with Lucas for many, many years, so yeah, just chemistry.
Well, your coach just mentioned you guys played St. Joe's well earlier in the year, and you get another shot at them tomorrow. They're the top seed. How does it feel to have another opportunity to take on the Hawks tomorrow?
Yeah, we gave them a good run in November up in Virginia. Just looking forward to getting another shot at them. I think we know that we can give them a good run again and just get the job done fully this time.
Well, Chase, thanks for joining us, and congratulations on a terrific game by you and your teammates. Good luck tomorrow against St. Joe's.
Thank you.
That's Chase Arnett. He's our player of the game, had 2 goals and an assist. An Appalachian State 6-4 win over ECU. So that'll wrap things up. Adam, any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
I think this is the first time in a minute I have seen Appalachian State string together more than 20 minutes of complete hockey. And so if you're a Mountaineer fan going into that game against St. Joe's tomorrow, you're finally feeling a little bit of confidence behind this team, and it should be one heck of a battle here.
That it should. Should be a good one tomorrow. We'll see if App State has the goods to try and pull off the upset against the St. Joseph's Hawks. St. Joseph's slogan is "The Hawk will never die." And then we'll try to make sure that it won't die tomorrow against an upset-minded Appalachian State team. We'll have it tomorrow along with 3 other games, and we hope that you'll join us. We thank you for joining us tonight. Again, Charlotte and App State advance. It'll be App State against St. Joe's and Charlotte against Virginia in 2 of the quarterfinals tomorrow. For my partner, Adam Persico, my name is Paul Roper. Thanks for joining us this evening. Have a good night, everybody.